Good afternoon, everybody. This is Master Cleanse Monday. My name is Tom Woloshyn. I'm the author of the book, The Complete Master Cleanse. And today from New Zealand, I have Andrea Zwezerynen.
It is quite a tricky one, Zwezerynen.
Zwezerynen, there we go, yes. So thank you very much, Andrea, for being on the call. She's in New Zealand live. It is, what is it, at 9 a.m. Tomorrow. Today is Monday here. It's 9 a.m. tomorrow, or Tuesday there.
Tuesday, yeah.
And today we're going to talk about the online Master Cleanse movement group. And Andrea's been on, you've been on what, two of the calls so far?
One, actually. I only joined you last month.
The last one,
yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
So have you done the Master Cleanse in the past? How did you get involved in the group here?
I actually, to be honest, Tom, I never heard about it. And I heard about it is that from one of the Young Living leaders in Perth, Pauline, not in New Zealand.
Yeah.
And I saw her on the Facebook, and she was mentioning about she was going on a master cleanse, and she'll be 10 days without eating. And I was like, 10 days without eating? Oh my Lord. And she said, no, I'm going to do it because it's going to be so good for my health. I'm looking forward to it. And I watch her, keep following her and see what she's doing. Have absolutely no idea. So I heard it from Pauline from Australia, Perth. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Pauline is in Perth, as you said, and she's been organizing lots of people through Australia and some people like yourself in New Zealand and getting them involved in this online Master Cleanse group. So for some of you people who are unfamiliar with it, it's a group where there's depending on the call, it could be 50, 60, 70 people at one time doing the Master Cleanse. And this is the diet that you drink only lemonade with maple syrup, lemon juice, cayenne pepper, and water. And I'm sure when you first heard that, it sounded even a little more crazy. So when you heard this, then you thought, I've got to sort of check this out and explore this more or find out what this is all about.
Yes, absolutely. I was fascinated to start with, like, how come I didn't hear about that? If it's that good, why didn't I hear about it? So I'm just like, okay, I'm going to, do a bit of digging and diving and check it out. And just prior to your last clean, because last clean was on the 10th of September, you were doing a Zoom call for the Australian folks, and I just hop on it. I jump on the free Y and just like, I need to check out this guy. Who is he? What is he doing? So, and I was quietly listening to you for over 2 hours. And I was just like, oh my gosh, there is so many stuff out there and I never heard of. And, this master cleanse really is something I want to do it.
Okay. Yeah. So were there any particular health issues? What was your motivation? Because the Master Cleanse is generally for people, well, some people think you have to be sick to do it, or you have to have some health problem. And many people start with, that particular process. Some people go, why would I wait till I get sick? And they do it as a preventative measure or, a maintenance program. And so in your situation, did you have any health issues or problems or things that you're wanting to address?
Yep. For me, like Tom and Pauline, you guys are like godsends, because I was actually quite unwell for quite some time, since June, towards the end of June. So I had a blood test, and my blood test result was pretty appalling. I had a really high prolactin. I don't know why, and my white blood cells also hiking up as well. So my GP, the first thing she saw my blood results, like, Jesus, girl, you need to have an MRI. We think that you might have something growing in your head, which is the pituitary gland enlarging. But I have, I consider myself, I eat pretty well, and, I don't feel sick, but I feel tired. I feel really, really tired, and I don't know why, and just can't put a pulse or fingers on myself. Like, why am I feeling like that? I'm not too old, I'm active. I do the normal things. So that was sort of my journey from June and towards to August, and it's just I don't see my improvement. So when I heard your call, and I was saying, okay, let's give it a try. You know, if nothing is going to help me, because they only give me drugs, and when I see the drugs, there's one drug with 15 side effects, and I said, no, I'm not going to take that one drug and going to give me another 15 problems after. So I was saying, yeah, let's try that.
Okay.
It's only 10 days. I'm thinking it's only 10 days, 365 days a year. It's only 10 days. And I'm not going to die. Okay, I'm going for it.
Yeah, it's interesting you say that, because when people go 10 days, I go, how many days have you been alive? How many thousands of days have you lived, and have you eaten every day? So you go 10 days without eating, and it's not, it's not, the end of the world. It might seem that way at first,
Yep.
but it's, one of the things I tell people, yes, you're not, it's not that you're not eating, you're not consuming solid food, you're still eating, you're still getting to drink lemonade. And that lemonade, surprisingly enough, I mean, from my own experience, that I was doing it to prove it wouldn't work, and I thought I'd be tired all the time. And I sat around for 5 days waiting to be tired. And after the 5th day, I kind of went, oh, I guess I'm not going to be tired. I guess I'll go work out. And so it's very much like that. So you have these issues. You went on the cleanse for the 10 days. And how are you feeling now?
I felt great. Honestly, I felt probably it's very similar to you, because I didn't know what I was jumping into. It's like, it was a little bit overwhelming, and it's like, oh, no food, oh my gosh. But I didn't feel tired. In fact, that I don't feel that tired like before the cleanse. The first day, I would say that the first 3 days, okay, it's easy, I can do it. And then the 4th day, oh my gosh, it's like, okay. But my 5th day, I remember I woke up that morning on my 5th day. I said to my husband, I said, oh my gosh, you would not believe that I had the best sleep. The best sleep. I don't even know that I actually can have such a good sleep. I woke up on the 5th day. I was energized. I was happy. I was like ready to take on the world again. So that was my changing point on the 5th day. And I remember that day, I wrote on my journal, I said, oh my gosh, I don't know what it is all about. And my 5th day. And even my husband said to me, oh, that is so good, because I can see the sparkle in your eyes again, because I didn't realize that I lost my sparkle, because I constantly I was feeling tired.
Yeah. Yeah, that's one of the things that when you say sparkle in the eye, I've had people, I've been like, a couple of times, I've been at a restaurant, and the waiter or the waitress will go, they point at me and they go, like, what do you do? What do you mean, what do I do? And I already know. You look like your eyes are so bright. They're so clear, like you say, that sparkle. People's eyes will get, the whites get whiter. People's eyes, the color will even change if you cleanse long enough. Now, because of your skin color, there's only 2 colors of eyes, blue and brown. And my eyes, when I was very young, were blue, quite blue, and they then started to turn steely gray. And then when they started cleansing again, they started turning blue again. And then people who have naturally brown colored eyes, what they'll see is that the whites of their eyes get, you may have noticed that they get whiter and whiter as well, which is kind of an indication of, like, there are people who do diagnosis of the iris, do iridology, and then there's people who do diagnosis through sclerology, I believe, which is the white of the eye, to look at that as an indicator of what's going on. And of course, when people are doing the cleanse, that, as they say, that sparkle in your eye comes back. And, so and of course, which is indicative that you're feeling better, but probably, as you said, you had a more positive attitude. That's one of the changes that people are often surprised. Like, I just feel better, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And I actually went on a blood test on the 13th day, which is the last day of the transition day out. I went for my blood test, and I was just enthusiastic, and then I was just like, right, I'm going to have a great, good blood result. And I have my prolactin back to normal. And also my white blood cell is also back to normal. I mean, like 10 days of my life to do the cleanse. And if the effect is going to be that dramatic after 3 months of unwell, for me, it's just like, whoa, that's mind blowing.
Yeah.
And I told my doctor, and she was looking at me sideways, like, what were you doing? And I said, I told her that. And then she still want to put me on drugs. Still these days, she still want to put me on drugs. And I said, no, I don't need it. But I do have a condition, is I'm very low in iron, and I will jump on the next cleanse again because I believe that it will fix it in
Well,
time.
actually, yeah, there was somebody on one of the calls, about the third or the fourth call. Her name is Dina. She lives in the city that I live in. She's been a client of mine, and she went in for a blood test, I think on the 8th or the 9th day, and they checked her her iron and her vitamin D3, and they were the highest counts of both that she's ever had, and this was while on the cleanse. So her iron level was up on the cleanse, and her vitamin D3. So
Yep.
people go, well, how is that possible? It's I don't have time to sort of get into all the sort of the physics or the chemistry or what goes on, because but the thing is, it's not something that you necessarily, as you'll know, it's not something that I'm going to teach you how you're going to feel. This is something that you do yourself, of course, and then you go, oh, I do feel better. I am experiencing this, And so, in partly, in the talks that I do on through the cleanse, I do bring up these topics and talk, a little more extensively about them to sort of fill people in, because there is a truth, there is a real science behind this. Medicine is really quite behind on this, and I don't know if you know, Andrea, but there's been, more and more research lately about, treating with water fasting, and water fasting does work, but it on a scale of 1 to 10, if the master cleanse works 10 out of 10, I would say water fasting works about 3 or 4 out of 10. Not to say it doesn't work, but it just at a much, much slower pace. And I was reading this article about this doctor in Los Angeles, and he was treating his cancer patients with water fasting, and after their side effects were much more quickly resolved, and they had less side effects, and they had more energy and feeling better, and while they were water fasting. And he had this blog, and there was all these doctors writing underneath saying, that's stupid, that can't be true, that's a lie. That's of course, because they'd have no education or experience in this field, so it's hard for them to really appreciate that you can't just take some massive, expensive drug that has all these side effects that it should work. Whereas, just lemons and maple syrup. I've seen with people, like Wayne Dyer, he was the man that, was kind of the motivation to start this group, because my wife Leslie was saying, what happens if we could get, what would happen if we get 200,000 people on the cleanse at the same time? And he said, 200,000, what if we got 2 million, and he had leukemia, and he had an incurable leukemia, one that he was, they said there's nothing you can do. And he did 20 consecutive days on the cleanse, and his leukemia was gone after that as well. So it's not, to me, I would be surprised or shocked if you didn't get better. That's, because I've seen this work, so much. So but it's wonderful to have people like yourself on who have these testimonials. It's not just me saying, well, this is what happened with this and this happened to this other person. So I guess you would you recommend that people join this group then? Did you find that?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I've been sharing with my my friends, and then I told them about my experience. For me, it's quite easy because I got a blood result. I just show them the numbers.
Yeah.
Like even with iron, I'm still low with iron, but my iron reading was 6. But after the cleanse, my iron reading was 12. I actually double it up, even though it's still low.
Well,
but yeah, is they like they saw me, they look at me and said, man, you look a lot better. I said, I feel better. I feel great. And they were in such horror. What? You done master cleanse? What? You only have the lemon juice? What? I said, to be honest, it's great. I always said that, you lost a bit of weight. And he said, oh, great. Losing weight is always good. And then, but your skin is clear, your eyes brighter, and just they're really intrigued with that. And plus, you're talking about the color therapy as well, and that was just something else. Like for me, is whoa, that is amazing. Yeah, definitely. I'll encourage everybody to do it.
Oh, great. That's great. Yeah. Because that's what this group is about, is to get people involved, to get them on the group. And then this group is, as you probably realized, is a real community. And I, even though you're in New Zealand on the other side of the world, I think you didn't miss a call, did you?
No.
Yeah, you were on every call.
Yeah.
So, which is, for some people in Australia, it would be, far too early in the morning, but you were, I think, pretty much on every call. So it doesn't matter kind of where you are, of course, as well, because we do record all of these calls, and you can, come on any time of the day and go to the website and just, watch every Zoom call through the day. And of course, the people can post their questions on the Facebook. We have a private Facebook page, and they post their questions there, and I do the best I can to answer those questions and stuff. And what I was going to say, you do use essential oils, do you not?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Yeah.
So a good oil for iron is, would you like a few bits of advice then for your?
Oh, yes, please. Yes,
Okay.
please.
So wear joy. So iron is, so any blood issues typically are not where we're not experiencing enough joy in our life. And the blood in our body represents the joy moving through our life. And when that blood isn't healthy, in a sense, there's not enough joy, or we're blocked somewhere with experiencing joy. And if Gary Young, a lot of the oils that he made is, he made initially, I think, for himself, is that, because I knew him personally, and he talked about this, he'd make up a blend for his own experience. Like Valor, when he had a major court issue with the IRS. They said he owed them $100,000, and he had already paid them $100,000. And he made up Valor, and he said, it's like I was in a bathtub full of Valor, not quite literally, but he said I was completely coated in Valor, and went to court the next day, and the IRS didn't show up. But the judge was there, and he said, you're free to go. They've dropped their case. And he had just he'd made up this Valor for himself the night before. And I know Release he used for the liver. And liver is around anger and blame, to release your anger and stuff. And joy is, he said, to bring back memories of self-love, where we love ourselves fully and completely, which is, if you read Louise Hay, she says every single condition that anybody experiences on the planet, if they have an illness or a problem, it's because they're not loving themselves on some level fully or completely. Oh, I love the way I look. And it could be then, well, okay, I love the way I look, but I don't love that I'm not rich enough. Or I'm, we have all of these exceptions or rules. And so the thing is with joy, it's just to just experience the joy in each and every day for whatever it is. It's raining today, which is watering the garden, or it's not, et cetera, et cetera. And then the other thing about with iron, and I've worked with lots of people with low iron, is that, but I haven't heard you say this, just excuse me for a second, is it can be a yes, but attitude. Do you say yes, but to your husband?
Yeah.
So stop saying yes, but, because, when you say, Tom, I did this sort of thing, and yes, I agree with you, but when you say but, it means, no, I don't agree with anything you just said. So the thing is to say, yes, I hear what you have to say. However, I have a different opinion, or I see things differently. But when you say but, it's to cancel that. And it's, when you're in a relationship, of course, there's always two sides or three sides or four sides to every issue. And it's to be, okay, I see your position, now I want you to see mine, or whatever. So does that make sense?
Oh, yes, absolutely. So no more yes, but. Yes, however.
So yeah, and then in color therapy, it's the color lemon, incidentally, is the color that cleanses the liver. And I believe will also, I have to get my book here, is the color for iron, I think, is lemon energetically in the color in spectroscopy, which is the science of light and color. And lemon is, yes. So iron, and when you're doing the master cleanse, because you're consuming only lemon, lemon releases the frequency or color of light that is in color therapy. I've got to show people who, because this will be so new to them, the color lemon is this color right here. And that's the frequency when you excite iron. That's the color that it releases, is that frequency. So when you shine that color on your body will more effectively assimilate or utilize or create iron, in a sense, not necessarily create iron, but iron compounds, so that your body will then have enough iron to function properly. I mean, the amount of iron that we have in our body is just milligrams, I think, and through the whole body. I was watching, getting off on a topic here, to tangent, and it was Neil deGrasse Tyson, who's he's an astrophysicist, and he looks after the New York Planetarium, and they have this big iron meteorite on display, and some mathematician or some scientist calculated that almost all the people in New York City, if you could extract all the iron from their blood, it'd be about as much iron is in that one meteorite, this big meteorite. And they were talking 10, 12, 15 million people or something. I mean, that's, so it's just milligrams. But, the thing is, a few milligrams is critical to our bodies. I mean, it's not just iron. There's, silica, there's, molybdenum, cadmium, all of them. Well, not so much cadmium. What else is there? Cobalt and various others. They have to be just trace amounts. I think copper is something like a 40,000th of an ounce. These are some of the things I talk about anyways, I'm getting kind of carried away here and talking too much. So do you have any specific advice for people who, if they wanted to join, they wouldn't necessarily have to join the group, but to do the master cleanse, would you have any suggestions for them from your own experience?
Yes, I will say for my little journey, because I only done one with you, but I'm going to have the second one with you in a couple of days. I think I heard it from one of your call. You mentioned that, self-science to yourself, learn from your experience, and that just stuck with me, because there's you can get a lot of advice from a lot of things, from a lot of people. Oh, it works, but not until you actually put yourself in it and really put yourself through it and you learn from it. So yeah, if if somebody standing in front of me, what should I do? If life lend you a lemon, like Tom said, master cleanse. I think that is the best way. Just go for it. Give it a try. It's only 10 days. 10 days seems big, but 10 days is not a big deal, especially if you think 365 days, only 10 days. Yes, I still can do it. So yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a great advice, because, myself, with people, I say, don't trust me, don't believe me, but have enough faith to do 10 days that you'll live, and you'll have your own story, your own experience that you can share with other people, instead of somebody else telling you something. It always sounds, as you know, like much more authentic when you speak from your own experience as opposed to somebody else's. And you, with your story, is really another one of those really truly remarkable experiences that in just 10 days it can change your life. And I know my 10 days, it's 41 years later, and I'm still doing it. I'll be starting on Wednesday as well. Well, Wednesday is a transition day. I might even start on Wednesday. We'll see. But the first day of the cleanse will be, let's see, Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday is the actual first day of the cleanse. But Wednesday is we have 3 days of preparation, P1, P2, P3. Well, so it seems like that you would probably want to recommend people to join the group then.
Yeah, absolutely. Because Tom, you talked us through the preparation or the cleanse itself, and the transition day is what we need to do. But I think what you offer is a lot more. You offer how to clean the body, but you also offer your knowledge and how to deal with this part, which is our emotional. I think it's huge. You know, I didn't expect that. I was thinking I jump in, do my drink and all that, but I didn't realize that the emotional side is just almost like the driving force. I need to get that done, otherwise my body won't follow. So it was huge, and with all your knowledge, but I love the most is your story. I just love to hear all your stories. Oh my gosh, really? And those, you know, all those gritty nitty bitties I enjoy the most, I must say. Yeah, it's so worth it. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you so much for being on the call, and it was a pleasure having you on here and hearing your whole story. And then, you know, for other people to hear this, it will be, I'm sure, great motivation for maybe for years to come. That's the goal here, is to get as many people, let's get a few million people at a time doing the cleanse throughout the world. Just think what that might do. And especially with this whole COVID thing going on, you know, it's really time to take, as they say, the bull by the horns and take control of your health. And that's where you do this, as you mentioned and brought up. Thank you for mentioning that. That's self-science. This is where we do things for ourselves and we find out, yes, this works for me, or no, this doesn't work for me. And then you can share that. So again, thank you very much for coming on. And I'd just like to sign off to everybody. Thank you for being on the call on Facebook here, and hope to see you on the call at some point. And if you're interested, you can go to the CompleteMasterCleanse.com. There's lots of testimonials there. It'll give you some information about what we do and how we do it, cleansing dates, etc., etc. And so it's theCompleteMasterCleanse.com. Bye-bye, everybody. Thank you for showing up, and we'll see you soon.